Thanks very much. Can everyone hear?
Yeah.
Good. Before I read the poem, I just want to have some little introduction so that some things in it are more easy to understand. Roger Casement noticed Alice Milligan in the courtroom during his trial and conveyed to her the wish that, quote, she write a poem about it all. When first published in 1917, it was heavily censored. The full version was published in the Irish press on August the 3rd, 1933. It has not received much attention since then and has been retrieved from obscurity by Angus Mitchell. The poem is addressed to Alice Stopford Green, Casement's friend, who acted with George Gavin Duffy to prevent Casement from being executed without trial. It tells the story of the trial. His, quote, accuser, who, quote, feigns to sleep, refers to the prosecutor, Lord Birkenhead, who had been actively involved in Unionist resistance to Home Rule. Birkenhead pretended to sleep when Casement gave his speech from the dock. A reference to their old pretender is, I believe, a reference to King Billy. The poem is called A Ballad of Roger Casement. And now, again, I see your face in this far different gathering place. More silver bright above your brow, your crown of years is shining now. About your face more sternly pale, no wind of summer flouts the veil. As when I last had speech of you, where once the ash of Ushnock grew. But here are oaks of England planned and fashioned by the carver's hand, with emblems, arms and motto meet, to make a stately judgment seat for the high judges of the land. Here rings no stave of chanted song, but black-gowned men sit silent long, whilst the authoritative voice for listening 12 makes plain the choice. And overhead, the stifling air, the crowded women, flaunting, fair, gaze, as at a gladiatorial show did Roman vestrals long ago. Bold looks they bend on him, your friend, a captive brought for trial there. 'Tis he who travelled under wave from Elbmount to the Kerry coast, when armed help was needed most by men impetuous as brave. Not now his soul's Gethsemane, nor on that dawn foredoomed to be, with falling trap and strangling cord, the felon's death by tone abhorred, as insult when united men were wearers of the Gallic sword. Roger will die in Emmet's mood, and Russell's, like the three who stood in Manchester on scaffold high, hopeful of God's deliverance nigh. Past is his darkest, loneliest hour of agony and blank despair, that gloomed on him in London Tower, deeming himself forgotten there, or, if remembered, but in blame, for futile effort. Scornful jeers of hostile scribes would hint his fame, and jests, such as in earlier years, ascribed young Ireland's rising out and Ballingary's hapless rout, or Tallagh's muster in the snow, and Ireland lost with scarce a blow. Lost too the cause for which he strove, and lost his comrades' trust and love. Lost, and he must meet his fate by firing squad near Traitor's Gate. So on his hands he bowed his head and wept forlorn in London city. But as befell, that guarded cell could not shut out the angel pity. Suddenly he was comforted, as a soldier spoke. In glad amaze he heard of Dublin's battle blaze, learned too that he was not forsaken, for friends had come and counsel taken. And in the light of day 'twas thought he'd stand once more to trial brought. The shadow passed, that hour is now, he waits this end with fearless brow. O woman friend, your courage then achieved this for our first of men. Your calm glance to his ardent soul imparts like calm and self-control. Your culture in historic lore helped when behind a prison door his pen through every patient week prepared the words he now may speak. The verdict given, 'tis England's way, 'tis asked if he has aught to say. Excuse to urge or grace to crave, else waits him on a certain day a felon's death, a prison's grave. He stands, how straight, then clear and proud, addresses, not that lawyer crowd, nor well-gleaned 12, nor red-robed 3, but named more after midmost he, whose lips shall speak the words of fate when he has done for whom they wait. One glance he gives of pity deep, where his accuser feigns to sleep, he who that mock rebellion fanned against the hopes of Ireland, against her freedom long delayed, against the truce that England made, her Senate passed, her sovereign signed, he with those crowds of bigot mind, against Ireland's right, against England's law, invoked the Kaiser's name of awe, and marshalled by their old pretender to Buckram host for forced base surrender. So that befell what did befall, to what was signed nigh Limerick wall, shattered our peace, but whose the crime? O braggart of the Covenant time, base rebel risen to honour's place, sleep on, nor look him in the face. From such as these he turns to you, pale lady with sad eye too, beside you and whoever there, he knows will faithful witness bear. Where his judgment shall not fail in the assembly of the Gael, and such high court he seems to see, as in old Erin used to be. But Ushnock, or where Tara's stone, still stands no footstool for the throne of England like the slab of Scone, deep buried now, we know not where, hidden from raiders of the air. For such a court he seemed to stand, no captive mid a foreign band. So brave his words, he looks so high, who in this cause hath chosen to die. The speech is done. Through lofty hall a voice rings out, keep silence all. The sleeper yawns, his dream is broken by the red man in sentence spoken, whilst curious eyes search on that face for sign of dread, but in its place a radiance beams, a rapturous light, as if he saw some glorious sight, such as amazed the martyr Stephen when o'er the stones beamed opening heaven. Oh, at those words of dread and awe, we know what waiting host he saw, beckon from heavenly place that he might join their goodly company. The warriors famed in olden story, who 'gainst the invader fought and fell, the martyr band, and those whose glory illumined in the tower his cell, Kilmainham stones and Arbor Hill, keep count of them and others still, like Roger, tread the deathward way, till Ireland shines in freedom's ray. Smiling, he turned. The curtain fell. Heavy behind him, darkly green. O faithful hearts, I know how well you cheered him till the passing bell. But in such wise he from my eyes went, and by me no more in life was seen.